You want to hear about a company that's going to go up 10 times in value? Hey, so do I. Please let me know. You want to hear about a company that might go up 10 times, 5 times, 15 times in value? I'll share that with you today, but also know that this company could go down by 50% in value. The junior gold mining sector is risky. As a matter of fact, a year ago, I would have sat here and told you about this company, believing it was an outstanding value at that time, and I still believe it was an outstanding value at that time, but their stock has dropped 30, 40, maybe even 50%. Now, in all fairness, that's what generally happened to most of the companies in the junior gold mining sector, but when I look at this company, I see bright prospects for the future. I see an outstanding value proposition, and there's some other soft factors that maybe the company can't talk about themselves that I can share with you regarding my insights into the company, into where I think they sit and where they may be heading in the coming months, quarters, and years. And I think it's important for you to know that when you're watching YouTube videos about particular companies, you need to know if the person making the video is being paid by the company to make the video. And I am not in any way, shape, or form being paid by First Mining Gold to make this video. I own the stock myself, and to me, it's a very large position. So I feel passionately about the company. I am self-interested. I'm eating my own cooking. And I guess you could say I'm talking my own book, but I want to share with you why I'm still very optimistic about this company. Like I said earlier, if you want real in-depth detail about all their projects, please go to their website, watch some of the YouTube interviews with the CEO, Dan Wilton. But the first thing I want to touch on is the CEO, Dan Wilton. I have been very impressed with him over the last 3 years. When I look at the moves he has made with this company, they've all been made with a long-term vision, not short-term game, short-term little moves that could make things look good temporarily, make the stock jump up. No, I believe the moves he's making, the strategic moves with the portfolio of assets that the company owns, are being made with the long-term best interest at heart. Another key thing that I like about the company is that the CEO, Dan Wilton, he may not own 10% of the company. You hear that often about, so-and-so owns 10% of this company, so that's such a great thing. Well, maybe that 10% that guy owns of that company is just a sliver of his personal wealth. I've heard Dan say several times that he has a significant amount of his own personal assets invested in First Mining Gold, and a lot of the shares that he owns were bought on the free market. They weren't gifted or given as options. He's actually put his own money where his mouth is. He definitely has skin in the game. And while that may not constitute 10% ownership of the company, it may constitute a much higher percent of his own personal wealth. So I believe he's very motivated and aligned with shareholders to see the company do well, which might explain why he makes good long-term decisions. Another big key to remember with First Mining Gold that is above Dan Wilton, the CEO, sits the granddaddy of them all, Mr. Keith Neumeyer. Now, I don't know Keith Neumeyer personally. However, I've listened to approximately 685 hours of interviews with him on YouTube over the last 20 years. He is generally regarded as one of the best in the mining industry. He has a track record of success. You know Keith Neumeyer. You know he is top-notch. He is the chairman and founder of this company, First Mining Gold, and he regularly buys more and more shares of the company. I believe he's up to almost 17 million shares that he owns. Again, same with Dan and Keith. Keith is buying a lot of these shares on the open, free market. What does that tell us? We've got a CEO and a chairman who are putting their own money into the company. We're going to touch briefly on the assets this company has, and then I've got some other keen insights regarding the company that you need to consider. But number one, they own the Spring Pole project in Ontario. They're developing this project. It's a 5 million ounce project. Next, in Quebec, they have their Duparquet pit. That's a recently consolidated project. 5 million ounces, again, in the development phase. They also have the Cameron project, which is in Ontario, an exciting development and exploration project. All three of those big projects, right? Did you add that up? That's more than 10 million ounces of gold. They own 100% of each of those projects. Now, they have three other projects they've farmed out or sold off, which they maintain a large interest in. You can dig into those yourself, but they own 14% of Treasury Metals, which is in the development phase, again, in Ontario, in Canada. They own a significant interest in the Pickle Crow project, which is being developed by Australian company, Autico Minerals. Check out that one. They've had some super exciting exploration success up there, again, in Ontario. And finally, in Newfoundland, they have a significant interest in Big Ridge Gold, which is developing their Newfoundland project. Again, some exciting exploration success there as well. So that makes 6 projects, 3 of which are wholly 100% owned by First Mining Gold. 2 of the 3 that they own 100% of are 5 million ounce projects. The other 3 are, again, partnership agreements that they've retained significant ownership interest in. Now, the 7th major asset that First Mining Gold has is a major royalty portfolio. As a matter of fact, there were 21 royalties. Now there's only 20 because they just sold one of the royalties to who? Sprott Asset Management. It was a royalty on the Goldland project, which is part of Treasury Metals. Almost 10 million Canadian dollars. Now what's so cool about this is that royalty sitting on their balance sheet for years was getting almost no value from the market, okay? Because of the Duparquet pit acquisition, the company needed to raise some money to fund exploration and further growth for next year. They were able to monetize this royalty that was just sitting on their balance sheet, getting no value from the market, for almost $10 million. The key there is that it shows you individually, a lot of these small little assets they own are worth a heck of a lot more than the market is giving them credit for right now. The other thing to consider with First Mining Gold is they are a development company. Their stock trades like it's an exploration company, but they are a developer. They already have the millions, 10 million plus ounces of gold in the ground. When you invest in an exploration company, you're taking the risk that they'll even find anything. First Mining already has proven over 10 million ounces of gold in the ground. And something else that I think is often overlooked, all those ounces are in Canada, which is generally accepted as being one of the most mining-friendly jurisdictions in the world. And the quality of people overseeing these projects at First Mining Gold, it doesn't stop with Dan Wilton and Keith Newmeyer. You've got people like Steve Lines, who's heading up the permitting process at Springpole, at Duparquet Pit. His background is super impressive. He's worked on several of the major mine permitting processes in Canada over the last 10 years. You've got James Maxwell, who's the VP of Exploration, a guy who has a decade of solid exploration success under his belt. and they'll be moving into exploring, right? Don't forget, they already have all the gold proven in the ground at Springpole, at Duparquet Pit, but now they're going to be moving to expand and do some exploration in those areas as well. And with James Maxwell, we've got a good guy in charge. And finally, the investor relations gentleman, Paul Morris, he really is top notch. I've had several long conversations with him over the last year plus. He understands the company and is there to answer your and my questions. Anyone who's invested in the precious metals sector knows that it's full of risk and uncertainty. But when I look at First Mining Gold and look at the things that I can control, I see quality people, I see quality projects, and I see all of that in a good, safe, quality location. Hey, I hope you enjoyed my video. Again, I'm not recommending you buy, sell this stock or any other one. Just wanted to share how I feel about the company. I own a significant number of shares, significant to me anyway. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.